We're going. All right, y'all. Well, it's Tyler and Dakota coming back with y'all again here at Slightly Biased with one of the all-time Razorback legends and huge icons for us as kids growing up in Arkansas. Ronnie Brewer. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are y'all doing?
Doing fantastic.
Not too bad. We talked about a little bit beforehand, but this is crazy, man. Like, this is
For real.
I remember going to the games. That number 10 Arkansas jersey is the first Arkansas jersey I ever bought. Still the only basketball jersey I've ever owned. I'm sure my mom's got it somewhere. I have to have her dig it out. But I started wanted to wear a headband because I saw you wearing a headband. I was like, gotta have that. So yeah, this is awesome. We appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all having me on, man. I really do.
Really appreciate that. Well, so how's life for Ronnie Brewer outside of basketball, man? How's everything going for you?
Pretty good, man. I can't complain at all. I'm actually on vacation. We came down to San Antonio, Texas. Spent a couple of days down with my sister and her family. My mom and dad and brothers and sisters all came down together. We went to Schlitterbahn Water Park. We went to Six Flags yesterday.
Oh, y'all living.
Yeah, we did like Reptile Park and the Riverwalk today, and so we've had a really good time, and just enjoying it, and just blessed to be able to be out and about and in good health and be able to spend the time with family. So it has been really good.
Absolutely, especially in these times.
Absolutely,
man. Now I feel even more appreciative. You're on freaking vacation, man.
Dude.
Thank you. Good God, Jesus.
Man of the people. So I was curious right off the bat when we got the opportunity for this. What are some of your like all-time moments that you look back on in your career at Arkansas, especially?
I'm pretty simple, man. First off, the dream come true just to play for the Razorbacks. Being from Fayetteville, being from the state of Arkansas, and then signing with the University of Arkansas. My first time in front of fans at Midnight Madness, the Red White game, having them call my name out, and Vincent Hunter, another guy from Arkansas, and Olufemi Timi, and being able to be a part of that team and be in front of those fans, that was one of the greatest moments. Being able to run out the tunnel for the first time, score your first basket, even if it was a Red White game, and being able to play in front of 20,000 fans at Bud Walton, one of the best arenas on campus there is in the country. And our goal was basically to try to get the University of Arkansas back to the NCAA tournament. Obviously I know now the dynamic is a lot different. Fans are expecting it every year, from Mike Anderson to Coach Musk, it's expected. But when I came to school there, basketball had kind of gotten down, and we wanted to put it back on the map. And so, getting back to the NCAA tournament was one of the biggest moments for me. Getting there, having to beat Florida, who ended up winning the national championship.
Yeah. We remember
Alabama and Tennessee and Vanderbilt, all those tough teams that we had to beat throughout the season to just put us in position to try to make it there was, one of the most memorable moments that I could remember playing for the Razorbacks.
What's kind of cool is talking to former and current players, is talking like you mentioned, playing Florida and Tennessee and all these tough teams. What's crazy right now with the direction the basketball program's going is one of these days there's going to be somebody somewhere on a podcast talking to a player that played right now for a Missouri, somebody like that, and they're like, man, we had to get through Arkansas. We had to get through. We're getting to one point where we're going to be one of those teams that everybody's got to get through, and it's pretty cool.
Absolutely, man. It's kind of great because you talk about all these great teams that you had to beat, and where the state and the culture of Arkansas basketball is under Coach Musselman's tutelage. Like, we are that tough team. We are that roadblock that people are going to have to try to get through to try to make it to the NCAA tournament. And as a former player and alumni of the university, you just love to see it.
I think that kind of, honestly, the beginning of that, becoming that roadblock, there's a big hiatus there. And then I think the start of, I would say, your guys's run, I think that was the start of us really becoming something serious, followed by the Patrick Beverly teams and the Qualls guys, the Sonny Weems and the Bobby Portises, I think I would say, I mean, of course it was from when I was very first a kid, but it feels like that was really when it started to become that serious team. And to see it just progress. And now with Musselman, I wouldn't say it's not a knock on Stan Heath or anything, but I didn't see that thing there that I see with Musselman, you know what I mean? That connection with the whole state. So it's awesome to see that. And I would definitely say that you guys laid the groundwork for that to become the thing.
Yeah, I think it's just a little different. I mean, I'm not saying or taking anything away from Stan Heath. I love him as a coach. I love Coach Pelfrey as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that they wanted to win. And I know that it meant something to them. But you have a different feel, like from deep down inside your heart, that it meant a little bit more for Coach A. And it means a lot more for Coach Muss to have success at Arkansas, to have interaction with the fans, to have interaction in the community, to recruit hard in the state of Arkansas and keep in-state talent home.
Yes.
And not say, I mean, you're not going to keep every kid. I mean, you're going to have the guys that go out of state and have success. And that happens, guys slip through your fingers, but you love to see guys like Bobby Portis stay home and have a lot of success, or Daniel Gafford stay home and have a lot of success,
Absolutely.
or Isaiah Joe stay home and have a lot of success. And that doesn't take away from any of those guys that are out of state, because we love guys that are from out of state that come into the state of Arkansas and represent and leave it all on the line to represent Arkansas. But I think it just hits a little bit different when you have a lot of in-state guys and under Coach A and Coach Musselman, the passion and the attention to detail that they used to turn that corner to have success. I think it just hits a little bit different.
Definitely. I totally agree.
We've talked about it on the show a little bit. It almost, with the way that everything is right now, it almost got like a high school feel to it. Like, in high school, all your coaches are real close. Everybody knows them. Like with Pittman wanting to be here so bad and the way Musselman is, it's kind of got that feel to it. And you're right. It does kind of adds to the expectation almost, because they want it as bad as you do. So why not?
Absolutely, man. I mean, if you go to a Razorback game, obviously COVID hit and a lot of people didn't get to go. But if you watch it on the game or watch it on TV, or if you listen to it on the radio, the intensity and the passion that Coach Muss brings on the sideline, it shows that he really wants to win. And he really, that those student athletes mean a lot to him. And playing the right way and executing the right way means a lot to him. And he kind of wears his emotions on the sleeve. But I love that. I love that about him, because I'd take him over any other coach that just sits down and just watches the game. He's intense. He's on the refs. He's on the players. He's getting the fans involved. And that's, to me, is the epitome of Razorback basketball, is passion, grit, and grind, and trying to win at all costs.
And that defensive priority, honestly, hell, you average 2.5 steals a game here at Arkansas. That's what we love to see. And it looks like that's back, that play defense type thing. You know what I mean? That it's something different when you see the defense step it up like that. And I don't know, man, it just hits a little bit different seeing the defense go up the way it does. You appreciated great defense. I mean, good Lord.
Absolutely, man. You could tell that his attention to detail on the defensive end has turned up. I think the focus has been on defense and playing fast and playing with pace and up tempo, and but you also see a change in the offense, a little bit more attention to detail and executing each and end of every possession is important. And I've had the opportunity to watch a couple of his practices in person, and it's a work of art. And if you're able to get to a practice, or you're able to watch on a TV show how he kind of orchestrates it all, it's like a masterpiece, man. And the players are just blessed to be able to have him and have those guys, have him leading those student athletes and the Razorback fans. I know a lot of times we take it for granted, but you kind of got to give people their roses while they can still enjoy them and smell them.
Absolutely.
And I think he's going to turn this program around, and he's going to have a lot of success for years to come.
That's what was strange this after the season was over. He he hadn't been here that long, but it almost feels like he has.
It does.
As soon as our run ended in the tournament, you kept seeing his name pop up with all these, from the past, like these prestigious blue blood schools that it's like, oh, Musselman's going to go here. And it's crazy that he wasn't here very long, and we're not really used to it yet, but it didn't feel like he was ever going anywhere. Like there was never a doubt that he was going to stay. And that was really cool.
Yeah. I mean, to me, being from Arkansas, when you come to Fayetteville, it's a diamond in the rough. A lot of people don't know it until they're here and they're able to experience it. And they don't experience the passion and the loyalty and the tradition that comes with being at Arkansas. Yes, those other schools got tradition and they might have great places, but to me, it's just different. It's more homely. It's more community oriented. Yes, Razorback fans can be crazy, but at the same time, when you're winning, they're 100% behind you and they fully support you and they back you like no other. And I think that he recognized that. And I think it's going to turn up a little bit because they went on an Elite 8 run last year with minimal capacity fan interaction.
You know how this crowd's about to get.
Now, if you want to see something special, I'm just ahead of time. I mean, go get your tickets early because I think personally, this team coming up this year is going to be better than they had last year, and that says a lot.
Sheesh.
But yes, they lost Moses Moody, but I think they added a couple really good pieces, as well as a young core, and so you've got a lot of inside out, a lot of guys that can defend, a lot of guys who can ball the back, a lot of perimeter shooters. It's just going to be a really good, fun team to watch.
We've said it 5 million times, but I keep trying to tell everybody the health KK Robinson coming back is going to be I'm telling everybody, and Devo Davis is doing nothing but just special things. It feels freaking incredible. I'm not going to lie. I also want to let you know, I acknowledge and appreciate that wordplay you did on Diamond in the Rough right there. That was slick. But something I did not know, I tried to dig in a little bit, do a little research, and I didn't know that you had got hurt apparently as a kid in like a water slide incident. What happened?
So every year, well, I say it back in the day, but every year they used to have this annual Razorback picnic, and every year right before school started, it was kind of end of the summer, start of the new year. They had, the players come to a picnic at Beaver Lake. And so, former players, my dad being the former player at the time,
of course.
And the current team, they were returning 94, 95 after winning the national championship. At the time, I couldn't swim that great, but, a whole bunch of kids were going off this big water slide that was shooting you out in the Beaver Lake, and they were putting soap on it to speed you up a little bit. And a lot of people that don't know, like, they see my body in the NBA. I wasn't always like 6'7" with muscles. I was a pretty scrawny kid. And so I was going on this water slide and I was going so fast that when I was hitting the humps, it was like lifting me off the slide. And so I tried to slow myself down because the pace that I was going, it would have shot me in the middle of the lake. And I had a life vest on, but I wasn't the best swimmer of all time and so I was like, let me slow myself down. I tried to hold on to the side of the slide, and they had a pole that was holding the slide up, and it gave me a compound fracture in my arm. And kind of like how it grew back, my range of motion didn't fully come back. And so comfortably to shoot the basketball, it wasn't the ordinary way to shoot it. It was more of an out, like a chicken wing, instead like under in an L shape to shoot it, but the finish was the same. And so the start was funny. The ending was how everybody else shoots it. And it's it kind of worked out for me because
the end result turned out pretty fantastic. So,
So how many times throughout your basketball career did you have to tell the short version of that story when they're like, "Hey, tuck your elbow"? It's like, man, I can't.
I literally can't.
Yeah. Well, it was really bad when I first I got my cast off, and I was like, "Hey, I want to play basketball." So, I go to the Boys and Girls Club in Fayetteville, and, my dad's working with my sister, and I was like, oh, can I have some time to work with you too? He's like, yeah, I'm almost done. I'll work with you in just a second. So I get back out there, and granted, at the time I had a cast. I developed because I was doing so much left-handed. Like I could shoot left-handed, dribble left-handed, playing ping pong left-handed.
Mm-hmm.
I could shoot pool, kind of, writing, all this stuff with my left hand. So I thought I was left-handed. So I started to work out shooting all left-hand shots. And my dad was like, okay, that's impressive. And it's kind of freaky that you're shooting everything left-handed, dribble left-hand. He's like, but you're a right-hand person, so work on your right-hand stuff. So I start shooting, and my dad was like, whoa, that's not how you shoot it. And I was like, okay. He's like, well, shoot it like this. And he shoots a couple and he makes it. I was like, okay. And I try to imitate it, but like my arm was not allowing me to. In my brain, I wasn't trying to be defiant, but my dad was kind of like, why won't you just shoot it normal? And I was like, I'm trying to shoot it normal.
That is my normal.
This is how it goes. And so my dad was like, okay, like, let's try to figure something out. And so he basically was like, it's going to have to be muscle memory. It's going to be repetition, and you're going to have to stay in the gym because that's not a pretty shot. And people are going to try to change your shot, and you're not going to be able to. But what you can do is you can make it a habit, and you can work on it so much that it's second nature, and you don't think about it. And so that's what I did. I practiced at it really hard. I actually went to a Kansas elite camp to go visit one of my mentors, Nick Bradford, while he was playing up there. And I go up there, and all these people are like bragging about me because Nick Bradford was bragging about me because I was coming up there from Fayetteville, Arkansas, and everybody was like, "What's wrong with the shot?" And he was like, "I don't know what's wrong with the shot, but it's going in." And so Roy Williams comes to watch me play, and he pulled me to the side. He was like, "Son, you made a believer out of me. We're now going to start recruiting you." He's like, "But I'm going to give you one thing in advice." I was like, "Yes, sir. What is that?" He goes, "There's going to be a lot of people and a lot of naysayers to change your jump shot and tell you how bad it looks." He's like, "But what I can tell you is if you work hard at it and you're in the gym and you're grind as hard as you possibly can each and every day to make it consistent, it doesn't matter how it starts. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It's how it finishes. And if it goes in the basket, nobody's going to say a word." And that stuck with me, and just was in the gym.
That's big time coming from freaking
Right.
Roy Williams. I mean, my God.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn.
You mentioned, I want to touch on it real quick. You mentioned Midnight Madness. That was like, what was that like from your perspective? Because like as that's when I remember like starting to get following basketball, and it was crazy.
Well, I remember as a kid bringing a canned good, staying up extra late. Like, can I please stay up past my bedtime to go watch basketball? And I thought it was the greatest thing on earth to be able to go in there. Back then, they had like a 3-point contest, dunk contest. The girls' team would play, and the boys' team would play. They played music. And I just thought it was the greatest thing on earth. I was like, man, this is awesome. And then to actually be able to do it full circle was super special. Just because, like, one of my biggest things, like, why I wanted to come to Arkansas was like, I wanted my mom and dad to be able to watch me play without putting a strain on them to be able to have to take off work or travel far to watch me play. Granted, I know, they have games on TV, but
it's not the same.
Back then, if you weren't like Duke or Kentucky, you weren't on TV
in their time, yeah.
And so, it was also important that my friends and my family and my teachers and my mentors and my pastors like that was able to come and see me play because they helped me and paved the way for me as a kid. And I wanted to kind of repay them and showcase them like the hard work and dedication that I had. And so being able to go out there during Midnight Mass my freshman year and be able to see their faces, all my friends and family were up close in person. So I could point out, my English teachers and my pastors and friends and families that were super close. And to hear them say from Fayetteville, Arkansas, and Ronnie Brewer, like it was so great. I think I was so excited I started hyperventilating because I witnessed taking people's hands, and it was great. And from that point on, I got so much love for Razorback fans and students. My 3 years I was there, it was just phenomenal.
That's awesome. Yeah. It seems like right now would be prime time to bring that back, but
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what I'm trying to. So you were technically. I'm assuming the reason is because your dad played for the Trailblazers. You were born in Portland and then
Absolutely.
came back here. How old were
Absolutely.
you when you came back?
I was 4 years old. I was
Oh,
born
man, okay.
in 1985, and we moved back to Arkansas in 1989.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, clearly your dad's one of the legends. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah,
one of the freaking legends. And if you had just, I'm not asking, rewrite history, but if you had just stayed one more year,
yeah, yeah, yeah. my,
God,
my dad. It's funny that you said that because my dad, he's so nonchalant, and laid back, and me going to him for like advice. I'm like, hey, Dad, what do you think? Should I stay? Should I go? He was like, I mean, that's you're the one that's gotta have to be there. Like you're gonna have to be at school, or you're gonna have to be in the NBA. Um, the NBA is not going anywhere. Like the only thing you have to worry about is injuries, but that's part of the game. If it's God's will, either you're gonna get there or you're not. He's like, but what you can think about is, they're returning almost everybody. They got Gary Irvin that's coming out off of sitting out. They got incoming Pat Beverly. They got incoming number one JUCO Sonny Weems. Darian Towns, Stephen Hill, Charles Thomas. The list goes on. The guys that we were returning, and my dad also said was like, well, it's a no-brainer if you stay, you'll probably in Arkansas as the number one all-time leading scorer, maybe steals, and how great would that be? And I was like, it's great, but Dad, a dream of being in the NBA, I think trumps all of that. And I was able to come back and get my degree, and I'm still an avid supporter of the Razorbacks. So I thought it was a great decision, and I was so close to coming back. It was unrealistic, like how close I was.
Totally understand. I mean, good Lord, I'd have done the same thing. I got a chance to go pro. I'm going pro. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah,
hey, love y'all, Arkansas. See ya.
Yeah, getting to your dream school is
Yeah.
one thing. Getting the ultimate in the NBA, that's understandable.
And I mean, you played for 8 years in the NBA. Like that's a freaking accomplishment in itself, especially coming from Fayetteville, Arkansas. Like you did it. You made it.
Absolutely.
That's big time. Now, I'm gonna bring up a funny story. I don't know. You have anything else?
No, I was just curious of all the teams that you played on, what was your favorite city, favorite team?
Yes.
That's a good question. So when I moved back to Arkansas in 1989, I literally went kindergarten through college in Fayetteville. I had never lived anywhere else. I traveled because I played AU basketball. I traveled with Arkansas. But I had never lived anywhere else. So I get drafted to Utah Jazz. I thought it was in the freaking middle of nowhere. I get there, it's snowing. Y'all live in Northwest Arkansas. It snows an inch, everything shuts down. They got 12 inches of snow in October. I call my parents, like, what do I do? Like, I don't know how to drive in the snow or whatnot. When you fly in there, it's you have snow-capped mountains, like real mountains, not hills.
Yeah, it's
like
beautiful there. It's beautiful.
Real. And so that was new, but Utah
He
was
said
felt
new, real mountains.
because, like, what I could relate to, it was like you go to Fayetteville, you go to the Razorback game at Bo Walton. If you have a good product, fans came out there and supported. We had 20,000 every game. They were going to be loud and tuned to the game, and they generally wanted you to win the game each and every time you stepped on the court. It wasn't like Kentucky came in and they're cheering for Kentucky, or Florida came in, they were cheering for Florida. It was strictly whoever came in, you're going to boo them and you're going to support the Razorbacks. Well, that was so much relatability to when I went to the Jazz, because they were the only show in Salt Lake. There wasn't a professional football team, professional baseball, professional hockey, nothing like that. It was Utah Jazz. And so whenever we were playing, no matter who we were playing, we were having sellouts. And the reason I say that is TV stations do a phenomenal job not showing the actual crowds of these NBA games, because not every NBA game is a sellout. And some of those teams, good or bad, like they don't have a sellout. And I would just very blessed to be able to play at Utah because we had sellouts every night. We had a great product. We had, great teammates, played for a legendary coach, Jerry Sloan, rest in peace. And we were able to be successful. The best two cities that I lived in, like outside of basketball, probably Chicago and probably New York, just because New York is like the mecca of like basketball. I'm playing in Madison Square Garden and all the concerts and stuff that goes through there. In Chicago was just great, playing in the house that Jordan built. During the times we were playing, they had all these anniversaries of when they won championships. And it felt like every week, every 2 weeks, they had a Jordan ceremony from one of his championship runs. And so be able to meet Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman, and Tony Kukoc, and Luke Longley, and John Paxson and Steve Kerr, all those. The list goes on. Like great guys that he played with. To me, I was like a kid in the candy store because I was like, dude, I literally grew up watching you guys every game on WGN, and it was just a blessing to be able to play there. So probably Utah and Chicago were probably the best two cities, and maybe New York. New York's fans were a little tough.
A little tough.
When you didn't win every game, when you lost a game, they're like, why did you not go undefeated? But it was cool. It was a great city to play.
That's cool.
So the funny story I have, I don't know how in detail I could go because it's a gray area and I don't want to get anybody in trouble here. There's no chance you remember this. I saw you, this is maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's funny getting this opportunity to talk to you. I have to bring it up. I saw you, we were in Dixon Street. You may or may not have been with a college player that was in the transfer portal looking around.
Okay.
And I bumped into you, right? And I see the player. I recognize him. I know him. Not personally. I just know the sport, I see him. I come up, hey, you're insert name. How you doing? He says, great. And about 3 seconds later, there's a freaking bear paw on my arm that says, hey, no football talk. I look over and I'm like, that's Ronnie Brewer. What the? All in a suit and everything, like dressed to the nine. It was out on Dixon, and I don't know if I can even say who it is. I said, I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
I'm gonna assume it's one of those situations like, hey, come with me. I'll show you a good time. We'll worry about football later. And then he runs into you. And immediately tries to bring up football. Like, no, shut it down.
It may or may not have been Kelly Bryant. But and it's crazy because 2 seconds later, it's Ronnie Brewer. I'm like a little starstruck for a second. I'm like, that's Ronnie Brewer. And then the DJ comes on and he's like, hey, y'all, give it up. We got Kelly Bryant in the house and Ronnie Brewer. And y'all said, see ya. Y'all went right out the back door and y'all popped smoke.
Yeah. Well, it's not a secret that he was here. Obviously, he was busy looking at school, and sometimes it's good to see like a familiar face. We knew each other for mutual people, and he was visiting here, and I was just trying to talk to him about the pros and cons about coming here.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I didn't want to have him out on Dixon where he'd get in trouble, but I did want to show him around, and I literally didn't want us to be announced. And then when it's announced, I was like, yeah, it's time for us to go and have a private conversation. So,
you got 6'7" Ronnie Brewer who comes in the house, an Arkansas legend with a highly touted college. It ain't going to take long.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
As soon as he announced it, the whole crowd just like eyes turned and they were like, oh shit, that is Ronnie Brewer. Hold it. Nope. See ya. I was like, that's so crazy. Being able to like in full circle, being able to have a conversation with you and like a sit down, just a little, hey, I remember that bear paw on my arm real quick. Let me remind you. Oh, it's awesome to see somebody like you being, an ambassador, sort of like a show the area. And like, it's no one more deserving than someone like yourself, man. You've left a lasting impression in the minds of, two young kids who turned on TV for the first time watching basketball and like, holy crap, that guy is, you were that Arkansas icon for me. And your name rings true, like from border to border in this area, man. Like the name Ronnie Brewer is forever like cemented as one of the Arkansas greats. It's never going to go away.
Thank you. I really appreciate that so much. I really do.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you. It's especially on vacation. We didn't know you was on vacation.
Sorry about that.
But like I said before, I just apologize that I have to do this on my own. my phone. We're not back at the house yet. And so I appreciate y'all doing and taking the time out to talk to me, man.
Absolutely. I just keep wanting to say it so many times. Like, it's such a freaking honor to be able to talk to you, man. I hope you guys have a great vacation, and thank you for the opportunity. And hopefully we can talk again soon. Also, I don't know if are you a hat guy?
Yeah.
Now listen, we got to send you one of the brand new hats.
Okay.
I'll hit you up after we get off of here, and I'd love to send you a hat and put on for the show. I'd love to see you in that hat, man. It's a freaking honor, for real.
Absolutely, man. I really appreciate that. It'd be an honor to wear it.
Of course. I'll hit you up afterwards, man. Again, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Sounds good. Thank y'all.
Thank you. See you, man.
See ya.
All right, bye.